In early May, the Audi R8 LMS made its competition debut in the French FFSA Super Series meeting at Dijon and scored a podium finish in the hands of drivers Franck Biela and Yvan Lebon. The latest generation GT3 machine turned more than a few heads and gave the racing community an idea of Audi Sport's future intentions of developing a competition customer service after conquering the rally, touring car, and most recently endurance categories. While Audi builds the R8 LMS, the car is then entrusted to teams competing in the various championships across Europe. In France, the experienced Oreca outfit has been given this responsibility thanks to its long and close ties with the German car maker and, of course, savoir-faire in car development. The LMS is a racing version of the street-going R8 V10, which is an excellent starting point. Many elements of the road car were taken from competition, including the aluminum chassis, ceramic brakes, and engine. The main changes concern the drivetrain. The LMS is rear-wheel drive to conform to sporting regulations. At first glance, the interior is surprisingly comfortable for a proper race car, including electric windows. Audi took so much weight out of the R8 LMS, it could afford to keep the windows to meet the minimum weight requirement of 1,250 kilograms. The engine is the same 5.2-liter V10 found in Audi's S6 and S8 models. The Audi Sport department is a bit coy but says that the performance level is more than 500 brake horsepower and more than 500 Newton-meters of torque. To road test such a car during the middle of the racing season is a rare privilege. But before getting behind the wheel of the LMS and heading out onto the circuit, it is first highly suggested to get behind the already impressive street version. 2 3-lap stints isn't very much to find one's bearings, but there were some highly skilled Audi personnel on hand, including an instructor from the Audi Driving Experience School, Michel Raffaelli, who was also team manager for the R8 LMS entry in the French GT Championship. This is one situation where the first impression is extremely important. Even the road version of the V10 generates incredible power despite the semi-automatic gearbox being rather brutal in sport mode. That is pretty much all that we can say about the car because our priority was staying focused on the racing line. Finding the proper line through the seam sweeper to know where to place the car on a wide track surface for the double right-hand Busso corner that leads to the Bender corner is a tall order. It is quite a lot to ask from a mere journalist with such little seat time on the Paul Ricard circuit. Meanwhile, there's a lot going on in the LMS pit box. Everything is ready, and all it needs is a fill-up of petrol before the big moment. Oreca invited veteran endurance ace Stéphane Ortelli to be on hand. His prior LMS commitments meant he couldn't be part of the inaugural run at Dijon, but he was part of the program from the Magny-Cours round, replacing Franck Biela to join his gentleman driver teammate, Yvan Lebon. Stéphane is still in the learning phase with the car, but it will take just a bit more to impress this former winner of the 24 Hours of Le Mans and makes many other motor racing successes. Just a few corners are all that are needed to bring the tires up to temperature. Meanwhile, our test driver Vincent anxiously waits on the pit wall for Stéphane to return to offer his first impressions of the R8 LMS. It has enormous potential thanks to the positioning of the engine, and the torque of the V10 allows for impressive gear shifts in the medium speed corners. It has a very good grip level, and we all saw how well the traction control works. I wanted to see the car's potential, and I was equally surprised by the brakes with an ABS that helps more than it hinders. For our first run, it is just fantastic. Our afternoon ride with Stefan Ortelli demonstrated yet again that being a professional race car driver demands real know-how. Now, we have to explain how the car works because there are light years of difference between a proper race car and a road version.
Braquage, tu verras, la DA est assez facile. Et tu penses que c'est tellement facile que tu vas jamais rattraper la corde, et en fait c'est très efficace.
In the LMS, gear shifts are made with wheel paddles with the clutch pedal only used for starting, which is so smooth it's nearly impossible to stall. It is the same story for the brake pedal with its very short travel and the ABS, which we never had to engage. Contrary to what one may believe, the car is extremely easy to control. The pinpoint accuracy is, in a word, incredible. The kilograms that have been shed and the stiffness of the chassis make the R8 LMS incisive on corner entry. It all feels very natural behind the wheel. You just have to remain focused to avoid any unnecessary movements. You'll reach your own limits far earlier than those of the car. A terrific day out, but sadly not long enough. These onboard images of a lap around the 3.8-kilometer Paul Ricard circuit remind us that some life experiences are just far, far too short.